who's not reading, please mute so that there's not a lot of echoes and stuff.
Thank you. I have 3 poems. First 2 are inspired by Nina Simone, and the last one, I just tweaked it last night, was a very old poem that I hated from 2002, but I'm not going to go into ad nauseum with all the rewrites I was doing with this one poem, but let me read them, okay? Okay. Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, sung by Nina Simone. Life does have its problems. You claim I'm part of them, that I say the wrong words at the wrong time and place. Look around you. Am I responsible for your shortcomings, frustrations, loss, and outrage? You saw yourself in the mirror, broke it into 1,000 regrets, needed me to pick up those pieces, carry each one as my responsibility. Don't let me be misunderstood when I say I'm not your lover's keeper. Every rose petal inside this mattress is making room for 1,000 thorns. I'm only human, and the bed I've made is now yours. Tomorrow is my turn. Follow star-crossed maps, the future. Cracked mirrors leave unsolved puzzles, add 7 more years of bad luck. Broken pipe dreams amid a rusted future. Your problems become roommates. Broken pipe dreams amid a rusted future. Tomorrow won't guarantee my turn. Your problems become roommates, our doubts and regrets. Tomorrow won't guarantee my turn. Days and nights follow star-crossed maps, our doubts and regrets, always at midnight when the moon is full. Thank you. My last one. When I had trouble writing it for like 18 years, 2 treasures. 2 boxes sat together on a shelf. A girl stood on a chair, removed the fancier one. The nondescript box made from tinted glass, left to gather dust. She coveted her treasure, opened its lid. Crystal contents bedazzled her eyes, an omen of a bright future. Over the years, crystals shattered and glitter lost its glow. Illusions flew like fireflies. A box sat alone on a shelf. An adult stood on a chair, removed it from dusty exile. She coveted her treasure, opened its lid. Empty contents bedazzled her imagination, an omen of a bright future. Her hands trembled. The box became a glass puzzle. Illusions withered like dead moths. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Well, Rorschach will have to wait a little bit. He's off someplace else. Muriel, I think, is next. But before we start with Muriel, Mo asked if Francois can hold up his pictures to the screen, to the monitor camera, when the time has come. Is that possible, Francois? Yes, no. We can't hear you. You're nodding. No, it's not possible. Okay, we'll figure something out. Okay, so we'll do.
Is there anybody? Could anybody, whoever the host is, allow share screening, and I could put up my website and we
Can you enable share screen, Mo, when it's Francois' time? Mo will try. Okay, good enough. So we're going to have Muriel and then Rorschach coming up next. So Muriel, please take it away.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to read 3 translations from First Hours of a Rainy Day by David Wilson. So the first poem, so the translation is in French. The first poem is a translation of To Make Things Grow on Earth. Qu'à faire pousser des choses sur terre? Quand la brume s'éclaircit et que le tonnerre rugit, se met à tomber la pluie. Les hommes ferment leurs portes alors. Ils entendent le marteau martelant la pierre et voient la foudre en éclairs. Ils lèvent les yeux et dans les nuages voient de tord le visage et plus haut encore le forgeron qui forge la foudre pour tord. Or, tout ça ne sert qu'à faire pousser des choses sur terre. The second translation is a translation of Winter Solstice poem. Poème du solstice d'hiver. Le jour le plus court de l'année vient enfin d'arriver. Pluie qui floute et épaissit le gris de la baie de San Francisco qu'elle ourdit. Foule faisant templette de Noël en manteau tranquille, emplissent les routes. Odeur de rôti, portée par la brise. Vont à la maison, s'empaqueter comme des bûches en petits salons, réchauffés par une petite boisson, un candélabre tranquille et un petit stylo niché dans un livre. La nuit longue s'assemble, ainsi la terre du Nord les rassemble, tous dans un semi-sommeil hiberne. The third one is a translation of Hoga for Yaga. Hoga pour Yaga. Dieu en chair s'émerveille. Oh, la jointure sans jointure. Albert Einstein, prodige de la tech, enfin défait de ce qu'il savait, voyait le monde avec un œil frais. Les acteurs parlaient par leur masque, ne montraient pas leur visage, seuls les mots traversaient. La mort, ils frémissaient. Dites-moi que c'est pas vrai. Les docteurs parlaient dans un plaisir pervers, avec leur luisant croc de fer. Lutte à l'intérieur pour trouver la paix. Vous devez l'accepter, ils disaient. Vous devez faire la chose la plus difficile qui soit, ne rien faire, renoncer à celui que vous pensiez être pour l'expansion du reflet de votre être.
Thank you, Muriel.
You're welcome.
Carrie, Mo is having trouble with his microphone, so I guess you have me as host right now, and we're going around in rounds, reading 3 poems and then 2 poems in the second round.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. All right. Sorry, Mo, your mic's not on, but I'm glad to see you. Glad to see everybody here. So,
I think we're going to have Rorschach going up next.
okay, great.
So
Thanks
go ahead,
so much.
Rorschach, and then after Rorschach, we will have Bill, if Bill's here.
Well, Marielle, you just changed my set list. I'm completely honored and thrilled that Marielle has been translating my book into French. So I will read the English of those 3 poems that she just read in those beautiful translations. To make things grow on earth. As the mist clears and the thunder roars, the rain begins to pour. So the people close their doors. They hear the hammer hit the stone and see the lightning flash. They look up above in the clouds and see the figure of Thor. And up above, see the smith who forges the lightning for Thor. But it's only to make things grow on earth. In here. Oh, is that one in here? It's in here, isn't it? Yes, page 21. Okay. Okay, sorry for the delay. Here it is, the second poem. Winter solstice poem. Shortest day of the year is in fact here. Rain, fuzzy, darkening, gray, quilting San Francisco Bay. Christmas shopping crowds in quiet overcoats, filling the roads, lighted storefronts, twinkling in the streets, smells of roasting foods on the breeze. Head on home to bundle in a small Yuletide room with a small and warming drink, a quiet candle flame, and a small pen in a book. Long night gathers on this, the northern earth, gathers all to semi-hibernatory sleep. Let's see here. Okay, and the third one. Three's a charm, gang. Hoga for Yaga. God in flesh observes wonder. Ha! The seamless seam. Albert Einstein, techno whiz, let go of what he knew and saw the world again. The actors spoke through masks. They did not show their faces. Only words came through. Death, death, they shuddered. Oh, say that it's not true. The doctors spoke with twisted glee, their iron fangs agleam, fighting for peace. You must accept, they said. You must do the most difficult thing of all, which is to do nothing, letting go of who you thought you were, so you can expand your self-image. Thanks.
Thanks, Rorschach. And so I'm calling on people sort of in the order that they came. So what's going to happen is Bill, David, if David wants to read, Francois, and then Carrie, and then me. So Bill,
John,
you're up.
David and Rorschach are one and the same person.
Oh, I see. Okay, well.
I am David, and that's Rorschach over there, who's recording the proceedings currently for.
So that's your way of double dipping. I see. Got it. You get to read twice. Excellent. Okay, so it'll be Bill, Francois, Carrie, and then me. So Bill, take it away, please.
Okay, so we're recording, huh? Okay. Okay, a couple of loved poems from many years ago when I believed more in it. Celestial. Within one room, there's nothing I can't see, and there my eyes were drawn to soft-toned hands and well-tapered, formed, and holding tight my glance with called-up longing for the heart's lost sea. The black light eyes, the face of shifting beams, the banked regard, the cannonade of style, illuminated longing and a smile, evoked the nights that ended just in dreams. But why should beauty break a lover's heart? This searing flower bears no bitter fruit, and that is not the ambience of this night. Now of the promise each will take a part, though superstition rules that hope lie mute, and then the twisting dance will sing warm flight. Next one is my lady of rippling lithe beauty, of sinews and smiles, may fear my maddened display, call me stranger and fitful, who would break or mourn or burn, am not steady, plead a dream and silver chill, but I am not a keeper, dominant, the dull steel's glint, careful stranger to pain, of foreignness enforced by mechanism, careful analyzing eyes of human excellence. I am the lover you called in your mind, broken and healing, Goshen naive, to burn with your flame he called holy and full when touched by you, of sun and wit, though burnt and bitter at a scorn, an aching stream of frothy song that asks no duty, declares instead love, asks your gifts. Okay. And the last one. Oh God, I had to have you and it didn't go away, and I thought it never would, while life allowed erections, while your beauty was my choice, while you were the myth incarnate of every wish I'd made, and while the white rose scent you were still made me thirsty for the liquor and the nectar of the rose's mouth from which I'd drink, and for the safety of your hands and arms and legs, and of your sinewed woman's tiger's feet. I dreamt the anger of your jawline, the obsession of your body's danger, your soft waviness of hair, a softly touching line along your spine, from nape down muscled back, through rise and fall along your skin. I did obsess so much, and now and how I called up wonder, the miracles of vision's wish, the palms of my hands upon the backs of yours, your cheek upon my thigh, your knees pressed to my chest, the taste behind your ear, your toes pointing up. And so you never freed me of that dream. We never felt those depths. And we shall all pitch forward, die sweating on the floor or in our beds with tubes like halos to the heart. And all the love I offered will run pissing to the floor. I'll lie upon and bleed, evaporate and rot. The cavalier presumption of those who don't want more escapes my love and lust, the debt that I would claim. And bleeding on the sawdust, I'll hope the time is left to clean my angry heart, leave sedimental love. And God, I had to have you, and in my lawless, unreal dream, I tore my timid doubt from out my world. Right now, I swore I'd have you. I'd hold by strength I'd take. I'd hold you with the gun or sword, or with the knife I'd win or steal. I'd win at least a bare and brutal little squalid empire's block of dream for you, had law and passed and died. But still, I lived by rules, conceived to get so far, no further, protecting those who live as I had done till then, without fierce inspiration's lot of mighty, hungry rage. Oh, beastly beauty's beauty sprung to my eyes and there defined, that beckoned and refused me like a joke, some minor vaudeville god, some wretched little trait once wedged in with a footnote to the law. I lived by some wet law, and God, my loss, to be so taken as a sucker not beloved, and you, poor you, not lifted high as I had hoped, to live for love or to defy. Those were the days.
Really cool, Bill. Really cool. Okay, let's see. Francois is next. Can you, in fact, share the screen?
Yeah, no, I can't now because I still can't. But
Oh, hold on.
I just at the same time lose it because when I'm in the photographic mode, I try to find myself in that sort of bubble of no time, no preconceived ideas, stay open, super open. And I sort of empty, I open a space inside me and try to let everything in and try to, because I guess making a picture is this concentration between where I am, the moment I'm at where I am, and what's happening inside me. If you look at my New York pictures, I live in Brooklyn, and a lot of the pictures I'm most proud and happy with are pictures which I've taken. I'm very lucky because I live like 10 blocks from the river, of the bridges of New York, which I think are the most unique pieces of architectures here.
What kind of camera do you have, Francois?
I have all kinds of cameras. I have a lot of what I share on social networks. I have many Instagram accounts, and is iPhone with a quantity of apps that I use to edit and transform the pictures. And I have a Sony. I had the Minoltas, and I've had all kinds of. I had Rolleiflexes, but I do digital or I've been for the last 10 years. I was going to say
really
religiously, but I'm of that church now. If I can say it like that. I also wanted to see that for me, photography is a one beat rhythm. It was so nice to hear the poetry, and it's a lovely feeling to.
So Mo, were you having trouble getting Francois's website up on your share screen, or is that just?
I can show some of them, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna really do them justice.
Well, maybe if
But
we all went to speaker mode and we could be able to get at least some of it, and maybe we could just go look at your Facebook page.
Francois, put the link in the chat, and then we'll have the opportunity to.
Yeah, I did. I put.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I'll put it again. Hold on.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad for being.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It got lost.
Yeah. Why don't we just open up our browsers and go to Francois's link, and he can tell us.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
Where he wants us to
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at your. Where do you want me to go? I'm at your website.
You have to go to New York. You have to go to New York. Your portfolio. There's a portfolio.
Okay, I got BW New York Cityscapes.
Exactly.
New York scenes, okay.
And black and white New York scenes.
Black and white New York City, okay.
I'm there.
Exactly.
The Brooklyn Bridge, yes.
Exactly, the Brooklyn Bridge, and which is my, one of my favorite places in the world, really. I want my ashes to be thrown next to the Statue of Liberty, which I see almost every day. And funnily enough, I used to live on the street where it was built in Paris years ago, so I have a very strong connection to Rue de Chazelle. My windows used to look right above the atelier and workshop where she was together. So it's kind of funny to sort of virtual geographic grandma.
There's a lot of background noise coming through Francois, just because papers and stuff next to your microphone. So.
That's why. Have you gone down to South Brooklyn? Because we have the Verrazano Narrows right here.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's the fifth picture in my and so it's a shot of it's a ramp by the Verrazano with Staten Island in the back. I cycle very often. Brooklyn, I'm very lucky.
I see it, yeah.
Yeah, so
But that's the promenade, yeah, because I walked there.
Exactly. And it's one of my favorite places. So I was thinking of you reading poems, and for me, photography is like a rhythm, but it's a one beat rhythm. You just I try to catch it, and then we all play it together. When we watch it, you watch it and you take it home. You watch it on the website or put it on your wall, and it's sort of it's scenes of a film that we all share together. It's the sequences that I saw resonated with me. Now with Zoom, it's amazing because I'm to you and showing them to you. Most people I've never met, and where I won't go, and we can still share that little moment, that nanosecond or half a second, fragments of a second that I took.
Looking at the color ones, it's very beautiful.
Absolutely. Let's go to the color ones, everybody. Can you guys go to, so
Wow.
Yeah, I'm there.
trying to, emulate and the craziness, but also the beauty of New York, which is totally it's continually mind-boggling. However, it's really a wonderful place to be able to breathe.
Beautiful.
So
Mhm.
there are a lot of these are shots on the docks of Brooklyn, because I cycle there, and it's a place that really draws me in. As I was saying, the bridges are really if you take any building downtown, it could be in Chicago or Detroit or Paris La Défense, but the bridges are for me what really are essentially to a skyscrapers, if you'll allow me, but the concept essentially New York, and I really enjoy doing that with my eyes. So on the website there are many pictures taken under the snow. We had many blizzards. It's now 65 degrees today, and 18th of December. It's been continually beautiful and warm. I was yesterday in the city, and people were with t-shirts and shorts. It's very, very difficult to
Excuse me, Francois. There's a lot of
Yep.
static on your audio.
Oh, really? Really? I don't know why, because I'm close to my Wi-Fi.
Okay, you're better. You're better now. Whatever it is, don't move your body.
Okay. Is it there? Is it better there?
I think you're better now.
Okay. And so there we go. So there are also some color ones. It's a very dreamlike city. It's a city which was made by people who dreamt it, and I guess it's what really drives me or drags me back here, because it's really it's a place that's attracted people, and you feel it. There's something both. You feel like in the most beautiful jail you'll ever go to. There's something very carceral, very all these angles and grids and rules and but at the same time an incredible amount of possibilities every day, and being surrounded with a lot of talent also. So it's really a beautiful. I feel very blessed about that, and being able to capture. There are very few people in my pictures. You can see them in scenes from which is the fourth. So black and white people, scenes from the city. I don't know if you're but basically stolen
Do you plan to put
portraits.
together a book?
Sorry?
Do you plan to put together a photography book?
Yes.
I can see this at MoMA. I can see this at
Oh my God.
all the museums here in the city.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very nice of you. But
they would really eat this up. MoMA,
wow.
the Whitney.
We'll have to talk. Yeah, if you know
They do
yeah.
this, an art book.
Yeah, Francois. I don't know if you saw Moe's comment in the chat, but he says, "How
No.
do you judge picture images?"
How do you judge them? Yeah, it's very simple. What's a good picture? And it's a very difficult question, a very simple question. and because now with the social networks, you have, we're surrounded by media rather than pictures. So everything is media. And so I think what a good picture is for me, it's something that connects something with something else in a way, in a bond that you can then go back to. I mean, there are pictures where you like to, it's like chewing gum, you chew them, it's media, it's content, you see them on my thread on Facebook, and then you have the pictures that you think are worth being printed, and they are made for the wall, which means that, and I go back to this one beat rhythm, which means that you can get into the picture. And it's a bit like a coup de foudre, in French, it's when you realize, that you're in love with somebody or something, and if you can, when you watch that picture, if you can, every time you go back to it, you can find another way to love that picture, and will get that same buzz, then it's worth to be printed in my mind. And that's the ones I print, that are the ones that I think, like a painting, I hope anyway, you can, get in and out of without getting bored, with every day either doing something soothing or something surprising, something that will turn you put your mind or your head somewhere, and somewhere else than where you are, and bring you somewhere. And I go back to what I was saying, sequence of a film that I'll never edit, but you edit a bit of it, and I've just given you a sequence, and you'll use it for whatever purposes you see fit. And if I've done that and brought you to that moment or that place or that face, or then I've done my job.
Well, thanks for showing those to us. Let's go ahead and appreciate that. I'll keep your website open and look at it a little bit more here. Let's
Absolutely.
move on. Let's move on.
Thank you so
and
much for having me.
Oh, thank you. Let's move on and have Carrie and then me, and then we'll start another round.
Hi, everybody. All these are going to be like newer poems that I've been writing in the past couple months. So, but before I do that, I'm going to do one older poem that was published in I don't know where it was published, but it was inspired by the Before trilogy of movies, Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight. So this one's called Change of Light. I stopped by that place we met years ago for one night. I saw the steps in the cafe we used to sit at, passing the time until sunrise. But today's light made the sights look different. Alone, I remember your warm hands as I walked the cobbled streets. Your emotional marble in your head was so big back then. What happened? It's now the year of the rat. You got another woman pregnant and you must marry her, even though she doesn't make your soul sing. The light has changed everything, but I still feel the same. A star lost in orbit, searching for a harbor, even if love or the light disappears. Thank you. And the second poem is a new one. It's called Morning Gold. East side swayed heavy, like a lead top. We were blinded by the glare of skyscrapers still being born. Traffic does little justice each morning. As the drivers silently listen to Somnito Suave from Santo Domenico, we race towards the sun as if we were smuggling gold. Thank you. And now some really new poems that I haven't done anything with yet. This one I wrote last night when I was seeing the first episode of Get Back, which is on Disney Plus. It's very interesting. This one is called If I Ended Up in London. If I ended up in London in 1969, I wouldn't leave my house without my microphone. And I'd dream about the Beatles knocking down my front door, but there's no band anymore. If I grew up English in the years before I was really born, I'd follow the mods until I smoke some grass and try a bit of acid on the shore. And I end up outside wearing plastic bags outside the palace walls. That's where I'll fall, inventing punk songs as God tries to save me. So I could write more songs as I gawk the people strutting on Baker Street. Where is that haunting saxophone? That was the 1970s. And he grew up never knowing it was written in London. All the storefronts are painted in bright colors. Tea is served everywhere. My striped maxi dress fits like a billowing tent. Please bring me back to the future.
Thank you, Gary.
Thanks.
Okay, I guess it's me. I had a couple novels published last month. They're spy novels. And so, you got to flog your novel. The first, there are actually, it's a trilogy of spy novels. The second and third got published. The Shadow Killers is kind of an allegory about the Trump years. And then the third one, called The Prague Deception, is kind of deals with betrayal and reconciliation. And so it starts off with a massacre, and then goes on to a meeting. It's kind of structured like Citizen Kane. So anyway, I'll just read you a little of the opening. With its peaked roof and onion-domed turret, the three-story villa perched atop a grassy hill looked like it belonged in a fairy tale or a nightmare. Concrete steps with steel railing led to what used to be its off-center front door. The Mon 50 remote-controlled mine had demolished that when it projected hundreds of steel bearings into the bodies of the raiding team. A half-dozen dead lay mangled on the blood-stained porch. They'd met their doom before they had time to register surprise. All wore black uniforms, balaclavas, helmets, and bulletproof vests with the word policy in gold. The triangular patches with crossed swords, eagle, and a parachute on their sleeves identified them as members of IRNA, the Czech police's elite SWAT team. Inside, more carnage. 2 team members lay dead in the entryway, their HK-416 assault rifles by their sides. A third slumped over the railing where the stairs had collapsed. Blood soaked his uniform and dripped, sounding like a ghastly metronome onto the floor below. Shell casings littered the worn hardwood floor on the second story. A gunman with a long beard lay in a pool of blood on the staircase to the third floor, where a hallway connected 3 bedrooms. Inside the largest bedroom, a huge man, Anton Gruber, wrapped his hands around CIA officer John Clooney's neck. A gash on Clooney's forehead gushed blood into his eyes, and his clothes were ripped and stained with sweat. As Gruber squeezed Clooney's face, went from red to purple. He drove his forearms into Gruber's elbows and thrust his knee into the big man's groin. Gruber smiled, lifted Clooney off his feet, and tossed him across the room. Clooney landed on a table that splintered under the impact. Desperate to stop Gruber, Clooney scrambled for the Glock 19 pistol on the corner and came up with it raised. There was no banter while Dr. Kilmer and his advisors waited for the technician to set up a secure video feed with the Deputy Director of Operations. Despite numerous tries, the flat panel monitor in the skiff displayed only a test pattern of multicolored rectangles. "Okay, try it now," the technician said to his counterpart in the White House over a telephone. "Nah, still not getting sync. I'll try rebooting." William Tate sipped cold coffee while looking at the officials sitting around the cramped conference table. The air was stale and smelled of desperation. Dr. Kilmer, newly bald from a round of chemotherapy, occupied himself with cleaning his wire-rimmed glasses. Tate was wise to Kilmer's tricks. His superior affected several mannerisms that allowed him to think before speaking, a useful tactic in espionage. As for his advisors, through decades of bureaucratic knife fights, most had perfected poker faces. They wouldn't give anything away. This was Tate's strategy too. Until he understood the moving pieces, it was best to stay silent and let Dr. Kilmer do the talking. The wait seemed like hours, but in reality it only took 15 minutes before the DDO's face appeared in the video monitor. He was an odd-looking man who wore his thinning red hair close cropped. And I will leave it at that, but I will post links in the chat. And there you go. Okay, let's go for another round, and this will be 2 poems each time, and we will start with Patricia. Patricia, take it away.
Okay, thank you. I enjoyed the story. Thank you. 2 poems. This is the first one is inspired by Billie Holiday. For all we know. I knew you from another incarnation, or was it several? Over time, I became too many people and lost count. In my teens, imagination took time to mature and understand the grown-up script written by yin versus yang. I had ash-tinted hair that grew past slim shoulders, bumblebee frames that cruised down my nose, a pale pink smile that believed in the future, skinny legs that danced under micro minis along secluded Bronx trails near the river's ripples, not far from 6-story fortresses and my room's lemon-colored walls. We were children inside an antique green frame under an Alice in Wonderland mushroom. We were children coming of age inside my world of make-believe. You loved Billie Holiday, hummed her songs whenever we met. For all we knew, you understood love's techniques better than this novice. Asked me to drop my towel or unbutton my blouse. Your pencil tried to sketch the woman inside the child, but it never happened. I said no, thought you were like the rest, until now. Sometimes regrets find peace, go to a better place, but the pain inside this antique frame rests upon the shelf. Thank you. And last, this is the crazy, crazy one I sent to Chad for the War on Christmas, Oddball Magazine. Series of haiku, 3 haiku, I'm gonna repeat them twice. Hot off the presses, burning down the Fox News tree, ain't fake news. Hot off the presses, burning down the Fox News tree, ain't fake news. Fox News tree Yule log, let it snow while chestnuts roast on an open fire. Fox News tree Yule log, let it snow while chestnuts roast on an open fire. Yes, Virginia, There is a war on Christmas. Foxfire meets brimstone. Yes, Virginia, there is a war on Christmas. Foxfire meets brimstone. Blessed be. Happy Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy
And
Christmas.
they put
to
up
you.
another tree, by the way.
Oh, did they? Okay, excellent, excellent. Just as soon as it's turn to read, Rorschach walks away. So, Muriel, why don't you take it away? We'll come back to Rorschach. You lose, Rorschach. Muriel. You're muted, Muriel. There you go.
Yeah. So I'm going to read a poem and a translation of that poem, or let's say a variation of the poem. It's not quite a translation. So the name of the poem is Parables. For I am like the father's daughter who sought consent from the mother once, doing what needn't be done, done being out of love. For I am like the moon, waiting for a child to be born, the eclipse of knowledge and the tides of motherly love. Bodies in warm maple sugar, embrace of blurry self, bury those sweet thoughts in bitter darkness. For truly I say unto you, I am like the trishul of Yule, piercing the night unseen to reveal the teeming filth to which I, daughter of man, had become acquainted. Tongues that fed me now show their reeking, glowing spikes. Where is the mouth that kisses and doesn't bite? And now, here is a French variation on the poem. Parabole. Car je suis semblable à la fille du père, cherchant l'approbation de sa mère. Ce que je ne fais pas n'est pas bien, et ce que je fais n'est ni fait ni à faire. Car je suis semblable à une éclipse au jour où vient l'enfant, apportant l'hiver, premier frimas, sucre d'érable, douceur lactée et familière, l'enfant en clair-obscur, la mère à mal, lumineuse tournure. En vérité, je vous le dis, je suis semblable aux trois fourches du trident perçant la nuit noire d'Odin, l'oublié, révélant les immondices grouillantes auxquelles moi, fille de l'homme, je m'étais habituée. Les langues nourricières montrent maintenant leurs piques rougeoyantes et putrides. Seul l'autre libère du vide. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Muriel.
Welcome.
Rorschach.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I'll read one more from the book here. What the name of the book is First Hours of a Rainy Day and Other Poems. And this one is called High Sierra. The lake is ice blue, and higher are the white peaks where ice giants play. The mountains gleam from far away. In the sunset on the lake, the shaggy man howls at the wind. So the last thing I want to share with you all today is this manifesto by Lou Welch. It's called Bread versus Mozart's Watch. I don't think there ever really was a war between the hip and the square, And if there is, I won't fight in it. I am a poet. My job is writing poems, reading them out loud, getting them printed, studying, learning how to become the kind of man who has something of worth to say. It's a great job. Naturally, I'm starving to death. Naturally, no, man, it just does not make sense. Look, baby, you want to pay your bills? Go out and get a job. I've got a job. I'm a poet. Why should I do somebody else's job too? You want me to be a carpenter? I'm a lousy carpenter. Does anybody ask a carpenter to write my poems? But there I am working 20 hours a day in a salmon and crab boat. A beautiful job in its own right, but another story, just as why I didn't make it that way either, is another story. And suddenly I realized I haven't made a poem in 8 months. Too tired. And I still couldn't pay my bills. $125 a month in 1962 San Francisco, frugality being one of the tricks of the poet trade. Meanwhile, publishers, sorry, there's no money for the poets, were printing my poems. Big readings got read, all benefits, no bread, etc., etc., etc. So I cracked up. My brain literally snapped under the weirdness of being a poet, a successful one, and being, because of my job, which all agree is noble and good and all that, an outcast. Please note, none of this has anything to do with the Beat Generation, America, hipness and squareness. It's as old as Mozart. I see the basic con as bread versus Mozart's watch. Don't pay the guy. That would be too vulgar a return for work so priceless. Give him a watch. Make sure the watch is engraved with a message that prevents him from pawning it. So as I say, I cracked up. I took myself to the woods for almost 2 years. I sat in a CCC shack 400 miles north of here and did my homework. Spring water, big beautiful salmon river, no bills, help from home. Last November, I returned to this city, mostly healed, many poems, some new answers. I learned a great many things up there, but one of the strangest is the plight of the poet. In fact, the whole Mozart watch con is partly our fault. Thousands of people really do dig our worth and our work. They really want to help, and they don't know how. If we're so damned creative, we ought to be able to solve this problem for our people. And it isn't just a problem for poets. It even gets to ferry boats. I refuse to believe a region this rich cannot afford ferry boats. I stand for beauty and delight and love and truth in every form. I am a poet. I see finally that part of my job is to show how we can afford poetry and ferry boats and good live jazz and dancers and girls in fish bowls. How in fact we can't begin to live without them. Without them, the city is only a hideous and dangerous, tough, big market of no interest and no delight and no point to anyone. First, I have to solve my problem without in any way causing a strain on my community, without begging or conning anyone in any way. I will pay my bills entirely by doing my real job, which is poet. Then I can give attention to solving more general problems, again, without strain, without begging or conning. Charity crusade shots are out, for example. On Friday, June 12th at 8:30 at the Old Longshoremen's Hall, 150 Golden Gate Avenue. You can hear some of these discussed in my poetry. Gary Snyder, Philip Whalen, and I will read from our new work at that time. See utopian visions built before your very eyes. Poems, delights. As George Herms, local poet sculptor, said, God says we can, Louise. Cheap, $1. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Rorschach. Okay, so next we'll have Bill, followed by Carrie, and then followed by me. So take it away, Bill.
Okay, so everything tonight is from my chapbook, The Sumo Dancer, published in 1989. And I want to thank Carrie for a London 69. I was in London in 69, and you brought back memories. Okay, this is me waxing philosophical. A coin. We've seen the something in the jawbone marking age. The lucid baby glows, evaporating, pure. Then grosser luminescence lets the young abjure the jaw light, no more there, nor in one's crumpled cage. Have others seen deflated masks on crumpled dead? Strange monkey rites surround the actions of the soul. The small salute the senior, drunks deny their role. With waning moss glow is the death beast slowly fed. The cunning birds may drown in song some unfelt lack, as I might sing when out of touch with husk or core, by calling up caressing quirks caressing me. The ropes that bind can set me free, can set me lost by going slack. But can I drop the stone to see what I adore? My son, I set you free. My father, you are free. Okay. To one who breathes light. Our eyes are closed when we lie down in death, glass eyeballs being too completely fake. Some back jaw is gone and there's the lack of breath. Our shells crepe paper thin with elsewise break. My soul will burn like incense to your heart. Great death will have his joke on blind bereft. Our powdered corpses glorify no art. We're never that wrong mannequin we've left. Eternal, we're our anger, hope, and love. Our gravely sweet and honor-born desire is that soft hand from which death pulls the glove. We all, beloved, wish each other fire. That freedom knows no falsity nor night, and love is all you need to know of right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Up next is Carrie.
All right. Thanks everybody. Two new poems, other two new poems. First one is After Thanksgiving Dinner 2021. So this is a funny one. Please God, dear God, please don't let me throw up. Rudy's Uncle S is driving his mom's CRV like Mario Andretti, cruising down the Henry Hudson Parkway. Please slow down, I pleaded. We don't have seatbelts in the back seat. Rudy's mom is almost comatose. She's navigator. And Aunt Jay is hanging her head out of the car as if she was a 10-year-old girl in Haifa. We don't feel well. We ate too much. Turkey, 4 kinds of salad, cranberry sauce, green beans and mushrooms, rice and mushrooms, pumpkin soup, pumpkin pie, apple cake, and a cake shaped like a dinosaur. A feast for the gods. Rudy's mom said, "This may be the last Thanksgiving dinner I'll ever make." She's been saying this for years. Now she doesn't want to cross Central Park alone. But Uncle S still speeds on Fifth Avenue, and Aunt J is still nauseated, and Rudy sits in the middle, trying not to create another argument. I hold on, white face, onto the seat for dear life, hoping that this last great meal will stay down. All right. Thank you. And one more for the road. Last weekend at the opera, I went to the Met recently and saw La Boheme, which is one of my most favorite operas of all time. And it's been 2 years since I've been to the Met. So a 3-second flashback, I jumped into 2020 on Saturday. Empty red velvet chairs, no sounds at all. Sputnik lanterns have blown out in a swirled golden ceiling. Then I'm back to 2021. The red chairs are full again with tuxedoed men and stupid young girls in black cocktail dresses who don't wear the masks. And the noise of the audience between the 4 acts of La Boheme, they sounded like music, causing me to cry at the opera for the first time in 2 years. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you, Carrie. So Angoma just joined us here. Angoma, Moe's having trouble with his audio, so I'm the MC this afternoon.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to read a couple poems, and then I'll turn it over to you to maybe read 3 poems after that.
Okay.
So anyway, Patricia, here's the Christmas War poem that I sent to Chad. It's called the Christmas War Tonka. On every birthday, Jesus dines on Chinese food. Family's annoying, so it's tea and mushu pork at the only place that's open. And then here's another poem that often kind of, a situation that often kind of comes up at readings like this. It's called, Do I Have Time to Read One More? No! Mastodon still roamed the earth when tonight's poetry reading began, but you wouldn't know that, would you? You arrived 10 minutes ago and cut in front of the 15 readers who are still waiting. 2 passed into menopause and 1 developed an enlarged prostate during the feature. You told the MC you had to run off to your daughter's wedding, which will happen next to your grandfather's simultaneous funeral, across from the baseball field hosted by your son's Little League playoff. If you're in such a rush, how did you find the time to read us 7 poems, your head down, staring at your papers so you didn't see the next reader on the open mic list die from old age? Honestly, it read 17 due to your long-winded introductions. No one cares about how the rhubarb marmalade you spread on your gluten-free toast inspired your poem. Each member has shown you more patience than that of the love child who would have resulted if Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and Mother Teresa had had a 3-way. For God's sakes, have some consideration. Some of us would like to visit our grandchildren before they become parents, like to walk among the pines before the sun swells to a ball of radioactive flame that engulfs the earth. Okay.
I want to shoot I run found some poets, and believe me, when some people go over, I like,
Yeah, I'm not
you know that
kidding.
feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I know
I
that feeling.
have to say, excuse me, come on, 3-minute limit, not
Yeah,
10,
yeah.
not 12.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, but we got Angoma Hill here, and I think
Yay,
rather
okay.
than just the 2 minutes for the second round, let's give them the 3 poems for the first round. Glad to see you, Angoma.
What's up? Glad to see all y'all too. I'm gonna read a few poems from my new book. I didn't come here to tap dance. I can't remember whether I read these poems on this show or not, because I don't keep a record of them, so here we go. This one's called Funktastic. If I were meant to be controlled, I would have come with a remote, but funk is eternal. So I'm real careful where I stick my finger, because I know bullshit when I smell it. And if these elections were effective, they'd be illegal. I'm praying that my folk go out and feel the burn. It's the only way to expose the truth. But if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on corruption, because these motherfuckers trying to start something and soup's coming to a boil. I ain't feeling the flavor, so I'm playing two sides against the middle, using my MasterCard, charging tickets on the Black Star Line, just in case things get foul, because word is out that even the Pope is building an army. Armageddon might be more than gibberish in the Holy Babel, and I got leg bar on speed dial. My advice to you is that we gotta unite to shift this paradigm. I got 7 Babalawas on standby. I'm on that mothership. Meanwhile, I hope y'all be doing y'all third eye lid lifts. That's one. Java. Dear Starbucks, the line in my poem trying to pay off student loans with salaries from Starbucks was in no way intended to offend you. The real question we ask is why the US economy can't provide adequate employment for me to be able to repay the loans on my 3 degrees with minimum wage. And in this so-called land of plenty, home of the American dream where nothing is as it seems, why can't education be free? Actually, Starbucks, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to be employed in this land of the free, where so many have lost their jobs. So we work for you, unorganized and non-union. It's the American dream turned nightmare, homogenized and deculturalized, ignoring the pleas of our third world kin as child labor picks your beans, while half the world is strung out on sugar and caffeine, lined up to get your overpriced fix to start the day like crack fiends. I must admit, your product is supreme, got folks dreaming the American dream. And as long as we at Starbucks, let's do this on. A few years back, some Black people were sitting in Starbucks chilling. They were waiting on their friends, and the barristers called the cops on them. So here, this is called Starfuck. It only took 2 minutes. The barista figured colored folk should only be picking coffee, not drinking it. Maybe waiting on folk, not waiting for folk. The overseers asked no questions, still mad that Asada was free and Mumia still alive. Common sense was not on the menu. They were still hired after failing sensitivity training, not feeling that the niggas had rights to be read before being arrested. After all, this was Philadelphia, the city of otherly love, or love for white folk, where those of darker hue are tolerated as long as they stay in their lane. Emancipation Proclamation hadn't been taught in school. I guess miseducation said that we were happy slaves. The Negro chief of overseers claimed no apology was needed. After all, he was blue first. When the hashtag boycott Starbucks signs arrived, the plantation boss realized that the cash flow was about to be interrupted. Damage control could not save his bottom line while saving his behind. He's praying that with racial sensitivity training might redeem him, but sadly, not much has changed in this 400-year conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, Ngoma. Now, Patricia informs me that you will be featuring on March 26th at her Brownstone Poets reading.
Yep.
Cool, cool. Congratulations. Congratulations on the book. I think this is it, everybody. I think we've done it. We have put another Angora Poets reading to bed. Any final words from our host, Moe Seager? I don't hear anything from Mo.
Just want to say thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Carrie is showing her book. Did you?
There's
I
Carrie's
think she
book.
put her book in the chat, didn't she?
Not, I was just showing my my website on the chat, but please, if you can, go
And
to
if you want,
any store or the.
if you want to save the links, you know, it's just the little three dots on the bottom right hand side of the chat. You click on those, it says save chat, and it'll put it all there, and you can sort of save everybody's links to all the great books and stuff that we have here. And I keep turning the thing off. Okay.
John,
Guess
thanks
that's-
for emceeing this
Oh, you're
session.
welcome.
Oh,
Always fun.
I'm gonna be featured at the Parkside Lounge. I forgot to mention it. With Robert Gibbons. That'll be January 16th, I believe. I wish I had a calendar in front of me. January 16th, I think it's a Sunday. I don't have a stupid calendar in front of me. Oh, yeah.
No.
Is that Sunday? I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, I've got one here. Oh, hold on a
I'm going to
second.
be featured at Parkside Lounge on December the 19th.
I'm not gonna be around, sorry.
Yeah, December 19th, Parkside.
January the 16th is indeed a Sunday.
Yeah, I'm
Patricia.
gonna be with Robert Gibbons.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any physical readings until after the holiday. I
Yeah.
gotta stay healthy.
Yeah. You have cookies to bake.
Yeah, I got cookies, lasagnas, and a lot of stuff to do here.
And
It's gonna smell like a restaurant.
Mo says, hey, y'all, it's been cool to just sit back and listen. Thanks, John, and all of you, everybody. Thank everybody.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you,
welcome. Always glad to step in
Thank
and
you,
help.
Mo.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
great job, John.
Great job.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mo is smiling.